looking for valuable business advice to reach that 7-figure revenue mark? Do you want actionable tips to properly navigate through every business challenge you encounter along the way? Let Tersh Blissett and Josh Crouch be your guide in getting you to the top here at Service Business Mastery. Tune in as they sit down with world-renowned authors of business, leadership, personal growth, who share valuable about management, marketing, pricing, human resources, and so much more. Let their nuggets of wisdom guide you in owning a thriving, profitable, and ever-growing business. Here are your hosts, Tersh and Josh.
Hello, everyone out there in podcast world. Hope you're having a great day. You're listening to or watching the Service Business Mastery podcast. We're live here at the Service Hero 10X event, kind of wrapping up the day. But before we do that, I wanted to bring on Peter Roth here and talk about solar. Most people that are here, we're talking a lot of HVAC. That's kind of like what most people do that are here. But having that extra add-on with solar is always really cool. And I'm hearing that. And just so happens, a buddy of mine, Vince, is here. And he does a little bit electrical and has some questions. So I wanted to bring him on the show too. So with that being said, I welcome both of you guys to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us, Peter, who you are, a little bit of background, what you got going on, and what is SolarWise.
I just start by saying mics are like, I feel like I can feel your nose here. I can hear them moving. These are incredible things.
They pick up a lot of background noise. I'm over here playing, trying to keep the background.
I'm almost distracted by your question. Anyway, yeah, so my name is Peter. I started in the HVAC business 8-9 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then decided, the whole solar thing came about because as the owner, I was also kind of wanting everything. I wasn't the technician thing, but yeah, I was kind of the business side and the sales side. And I was going to their homes and I was making these sales, and people would call financing and they would get pre-qualified for some large dollar, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. Mm-hmm. And
I hate that. Well, whenever I see $70,000 and then we sell a $6,800 system, and I'm like, what in the hell is just going on right now? Like,
so you're feeling my frustration, which is like, I'm making this great, reputation, this rapport, and building this relationship with this person, and they would probably buy something else from me, but I got nothing else to sell. Mm-hmm. Maybe they didn't want IAQ, maybe their ductwork is fine, so like there's just nowhere to sell opportunity, and I was like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, right.
Like that's it. Like I just have to leave now, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I was like, there's got to be something else out there that maybe like I didn't want to learn the actual installation side, and we still don't do the installation side. We're living outside
of solar.
Outside. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you just sell it.
Yeah. So that's just my difference. So I can talk to them.
Yeah. Vince, you got any questions about solar?
Well, I mean, I own a few solar panels.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was real curious. I mean, we had the same issue. I mean, we started our garage doors, and we would get big financing available. So I added 3 more trades.
Not just one.
Yeah.
But 3.
When I do things, I go all in. So,
glutton for punishment.
But I have been very curious about solar. So one of the big questions I have is, who's the biggest potential customer, and like how is that being sold to them? Is it somebody that I just want to be a big greenie, I want to save the world, so I'm going to buy a solar panel, or I mean, what's that look like?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's actually one of the very first questions when we talk to people. But having done this so many times, fast forward the conversation, I'm just going to tell you, no, it's just money. Really, it all just comes down to money. People just want to save
money. Okay.
Save money. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you the whole solar picture. I can back and just make it real simple. But the reality of it is like people just get sick and tired of their ever increasing electric bills. And in some states, it's California, it's like 30-40 cents cost per bill. So I mean, the same bill in the middle of America, the electric bill is $100, $120 a month. Mm-hmm. California could be $300-$400. So it's brutal.
So what is the payback period? I mean, because that's what I've heard is the downside of solar is, yeah, I can save money on
30
my electric
years
bill,
and-
but I'll be 150 years old before I pay for my panels.
Yeah.
You know, all the questions that I get about solar are totally valid and totally
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of really valid concerns about solar. A lot of people think that it's a scam, or that I'm never going to make my money back, it's going to degrade.
Yeah.
These were all at one point totally valid concerns. It's just that over time, technologies have improved, the industries have improved, and so the answer to your question is ROI is day one.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, it's the most simplest way to look at it is that we're going to take your electric bill, which is always going up. We're going to make that go up, and we're going to replace it with a solar bill that, in an ideal world, that's a little bit lower, or hopefully a lot of it lower than your electric.
Okay.
And that's never going to. So, and there's no down payment.
So,
Zero down.
do you still have to have battery backup and that type of stuff? Okay, so you can, I guess, what's it called? Selling it back to the grid or something?
Yeah, yeah. So, so those are two different.
Okay.
Different
Yeah.
things. So, battery. That's a good question. A lot of people ask about batteries. Like, should I get batteries? Do I want to be off the grid?
Mhm.
That's an important question. And right now, batteries are new. They're
Really?
They're too new.
Okay, yeah,
They're too expensive,
Mhm.
and they don't. I mean, Tricia said to answer this question, but I feel like there is the starting average of certain things, there's the running average of certain things.
Yeah.
And so, AC, whatever the starting average of AC, it's a lot higher. Than
Yeah.
And so batteries can't handle that shit.
Yeah, that influx load,
Yeah,
that
they
in
can't.
rush.
I guess you could put soft
Well,
loads or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, what I will say, I'm not an electrician.
Some clarification there. Yeah.
Very big clarification. Cool. I know if I plug it in the wall, it's supposed to turn on. That's my extent.
Now I feel more relaxed.
There you go.
I was a little nervous.
No, it's so what about so these panels? I know you probably get asked this question a lot. Tell me about these shingles. Okay.
Can I tell you why this is?
Yes. Yes.
Because otherwise, I think people are just like,
Yeah.
this is fucking boring. Why am I listening to shit about solar? So let me explain.
Solar's
why.
so much fun. I'm a nerd with solar.
Let me explain why HVAC owners or electric owners, or plumbing or roofing, home improvement business should be the same. And the reason is because that original thing which I mentioned, which is my frustration that I got nothing else to sell. I was looking for something else to sell, but I didn't actually have to install it. I wanted the easy way out.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
So solar just checked those boxes, and the reason why was that I found that I could learn to sell solar easily. It's a simple problem. No moving parts.
Right.
It's just a panel and almost no moving parts.
Is that how you got sold, Vince?
What's that?
Is that how you got sold?
No, when I bought solar,
Uh-huh.
no, I have a farm in the middle of nowhere, and there is no power. So,
Wow.
in order to have a light or a pump, well pump, I had no option.
Well, there you go.
It was I was an easy system.
Yeah, there you go.
So the reason why it should be interesting to any business owner or even any company, either or, is because this now gives you an opportunity to have something else to sell and make a shit ton of money doing it. Because
Really?
There's two different ways you can go about selling solar, and I train both.
Okay.
So I train both.
And that's the whole purpose of Solar Wise too. You're training people to do this. It's
both.
Okay.
It's a solar company. So
Okay,
consumers can come to me
Okay,
as well.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's absolutely both. So consumers can come as well. Business owner / company. Or just anyone in the sales.
Right.
And so there's two courses of action. One is the easy route where you don't really have to learn the product, you don't have to learn the full thing, you don't have to learn the script. It's just you just make a referral.
yeah. So you flip the lead and
Yeah.
Yeah.
But exactly.
that's a nice flip.
These are big ticket products. So they pay you. So most people in the home improvement space, they may not even be making $1,000 commission on their native.
Mhm.
So now suddenly, they can make $1,000 extra. Sounds pretty damn appealing, right?
So with that being said, though, that you probably need to be in a certain geographical area, right?
Yeah. So we're in about 30 states right now. We're in 30, 32 states right now. Yeah, I'm in like northern.
Are you, when you say you're in 30 states, just on the sales aspect, or so I own an HVAC company, I have salespeople. If I want to do this, so do I? And I contact you. You set up my installers as well. So, or what's that picture look like?
Yeah.
Well, so
because I don't want to go sell it and then go, hey, I got nobody to put it in.
Now I got to figure it out.
So it sounds like you asked two questions. One, what's the
Kentucky.
Yeah, so we're in Kentucky. I mean, all the sunny states we're in for sure. So if you're in a state where there's just solar doesn't make a lot of sense, probably not sense, but any other warm sunny state does make sense. So, and then to answer your second question, you're not, it doesn't cost you shit. You're not buying anything. You're not stocking. So, like I said, you're just reselling. So you're not. Okay. That's the beauty.
So you have installers to come and do all the work. Okay.
Yeah. So we handle all that stuff on our end. So you don't have to. So literally for you. So like I said, so there's two models. The easy, or what I call it, the simple route is just a referral, $1,000.
Yeah.
You let the client over. We take care. We take it from there. Boom. You make $1,000. Or option two, if you want to make a lot of money, you do the full transaction, then you got to learn solar systems. So and they can train on that too. I can train the whole thing, but those are that's anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000.
So is this some type of like a franchise model? I mean, if I jump in, and are you going to go get 50 other HVAC companies that come in and sell in the same market I'm selling in, or how does that work?
This is the first publicity that I've had. Right here. So
there you go.
Someone comes to me. I'm not exactly going out there pushing this road. My primary business is in the actual sale itself of solar directly to consumers. I'm not making an effort to go out and
what's the average tickets? Because I mean that's going to be the first question my sales guys have. What am I?
Yep. So that's a good question. So I would say anywhere from 25 to 50K.
Now so with option two, where we learn the solar and everything, at that point we're going to need to develop our own installers, or so you still going to do the installation?
Yeah.
We are just selling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just handling the whole sale process.
Oh yeah, that's simple enough. If you already have comfort specialists in that can do it, and
what I find is that some of the people that I've already started with, they'll start easy. They start the easy route. They start doing referrals, and then once they kind of start getting the swing of things, then they'll come back to it. Like, I think I'm gonna learn the whole kit. It's not hard. I mean, honestly, it's one product. I mean, think of HVAC where we're selling the whole kit. This giant array of products. This is just one. It's like learning buffers.
How about maintenance? Because I know that's gonna be a question for clients. Do you have to clean the panels or stuff like that?
No, there's almost no maintenance involved. They don't, snow slides right off of them, so that's not an issue. Sometimes you get a little gunk build up from the crap left over from snow. You can literally just close it off. You don't even need fancy. Just close it off once in a couple of years.
Okay.
There's no maintenance.
Gotcha.
My biggest fear with putting them on my roof was hail.
Oh. Yeah, again, one of the older. That's kind of one of the old, kind of wives' tales, and it was at one point a thing,
right?
Older panels from 30, 40 years ago weren't built to those level of tolerances that they are now. There's a brand of a video that we use of a particular brand of their home mission solar that they made in Texas, and they actually it's a pretty funny video where they put into all kinds of different tests.
Did they do like Tesla in it with his truck and throw the baseball at it and it shatters it?
they drive over it with a tank. They drive over it with a tank and it's fine.
Well, at least they didn't stand in front of a huge audience on live TV and destroy it with a baseball.
Yeah, but they they'll literally will fire like giant hail, like the size of a baseball.
So it lasts a long time, and this is not going to be like your shingle type things that you hear like Tesla talk about or whatever it is.
Those are just not right. Those have been around actually for a while. People think they're new and fancy. They're just impossible to make work because a lot of people, everyone wants them, right? Because they look kind of cool because they don't look like they have solar panels in them. The problem with them is that they have no heat dissipation. Solar panels are supposed to stick up a little bit
for the heat dissipation.
The heat's got to dissipate, otherwise it just kills the efficiency of the unit. And so with those shingles, the problem is that the heat can't dissipate. All that heat just redirects
into your ad.
Your house gets so hot, and your AC bill goes climbing up, and you just totally ruined the whole purpose of it.
when you have that whole series of panels up there, how do I know if one of them is not working?
Yeah, so nowadays it's with the inverter technology itself. Okay. So now the brand called Enphase makes what's called a micro. So each panel is tied to an app on the phone. You want the whole thing. It tells you the productivity and efficiency and output of each and every individual.
So how about you're in HVAC, so you understand the inverter technology when an air conditioning unit.
Sort of. I'm on the sales side.
Okay. All right. Well, so with us having inverters and DC voltage and all that stuff, is there conflict with having the solar panels and their inverter and interference with the air conditioning's inverter technology?
Technical question.
Yeah.
I had never heard of it in my life.
Okay. Yeah.
So I can't imagine.
I just want, because like sometimes with some of the inverter technology, I feel like the smallest, most ridiculous thing is like, oh yeah, everybody knows that you can't do that. You can't.
Yeah. Well, one thing about it is most HVAC companies never sell inverter technology.
we sell shit
sell
out
a
of
lot,
it. Yeah.
But when we offer it, we're like the only company that offered it, and they've had 10 quotes laying on
Yeah.
the table.
The people who are here at this event offer inverter technology outside of this event.
Right. It is crazy though, because they'll almost convince our clients or potential clients that inverter technology is like it's bad. Like just stay with your two-stage stuff. Like, okay, two-stage isn't bad, but why wouldn't you want to go this way? Yeah, it's a whole other rabbit hole.
Most of our competitors don't even know what two-stage is.
I was just about to say like 2 stages.
Really?
That's almost getting advanced.
Yeah, they feel like they could major out efficiency when they move to 2 stages.
I agree with you.
Okay,
It
well.
must be different ballgame.
Well, I mean, the humidity level that we have, the two-stage technology first came out way back when, and that was the game changer for everybody, because then it's like, this is the solution to humidity,
Right.
So there's a lot, and so like you have some 16 SEER equipment that's single stage, and then you have 16 SEER that's two-stage, and then you get this is a 16 SEER that's $2,000 more than this 16 SEER. Why is that? And then you have to go through the whole technical, and then their eyes are glazing over, and then you're like, damn, I lost you.
But that's what's kind of cool about the whole solar conversation is that I train the guys how to train the owners, I train the comfort advisors and sales guys, I train them how to have that sort of natural discussion. So it's a very simple, straightforward, basic discussion. It just kind of parlays itself naturally. So once you've made this, you always want to start. You guys have scripts. You make yourself
We have framework.
General framework. Yeah. I'm a real sticker on scripts. Memorizing down almost the word. So I've got everything scripted out. But just like there, you got to build everything up front. You don't want to surprise them with anything. So I always talk about, and I always like to drop hints, throughout the conversation.
Yeah.
Until I'm ready to really kind of drop them. So we always talk about solar. So in the beginning, we make some really light. Hey, have you had any interest? And if they say no, we can come back again later. And hey, how much you have? Whatever the answer is, oh wow.
Yeah. Oh wow, if you always do
wow.
response. Yeah.
Okay. So the solar panel installation, does it have to be done by licensed electricians?
Or are the guys that you have installing it, do they carry a license? We have to have the license and okay. All right. Okay.
Cool.
Just selling it.
Yeah, you're just selling it.
So how do we know? I'm assuming there's frequent updates on what it costs, so that we know how to sell it on proper margins.
Okay, so that's a good question. So again, it depends. So if you're just doing referrals, then you really don't.
Right.
Know
yes, that's no biggie. Yeah.
Passing the torch.
Yeah.
But if you are doing the sales thing, then you will be trained on how to understand on how to price things effectively. Because solar is pretty cool. So unlike, you can sell it for. I mean, I guess sort of everything.
Right.
But
you got a base cost at some point, like a bare minimum, like a break even, that where even like your subcontractors are going to come in at, and you're going to have to pay them a certain amount.
But here's what's really wacky about solar, which is totally different than any other home services product, is that it's the only product where the salesperson can set their own price and keep that whole margin.
Explain that. What do you mean there?
Yeah. So, like for example, if I'm selling, a furnace to somebody, and my company, let's say, most companies just have a predetermined price.
Yeah.
For furnace, very few companies allow their sales reps to go and just kind of willy-nilly make up prices, but.
Norm?
Even though I do know a guy in Louisiana, and if you're listening, I do know a guy in Louisiana who totally makes up prices when he goes in.
Just winging it.
But he has.
I feel like that's illegal. It's some sort of
It does definitely
price gouging or something.
It's
Like, oh, you drive a Mercedes, it's gonna be $10,000.
Fortunately, well, that happens.
Right. Yeah.
We know that
Yeah.
shit happens. So it's really no different. Okay. So, but nonetheless, like even still, the rep, no matter what a rep is selling, it's only making set predetermined and negotiated. I make whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? They make 10%, and that's set in stone unless it's renegotiated. Like solar is totally different. So solar, we know what the cost of the project is. Let's just throw out that rep can turn around and sell for whatever the fuck they want. And
So
the difference.
Okay. All right.
And it's now you can't go crazy.
125,000.
Yeah, because you're not
Yeah.
going to sell anything if you price yourself out of the market. So you can't go for nuts. But you can sell it for 20. What I say, 30. You can sell it for 35. You can sell it for 40. You can sell it for 40. You have to know your market. You have to know what the market can bear.
So is there tiers on this? So I want a whole house, I want a partial house, I want option A, B, C, D, or what's that?
Oh, that's a simple conversion. So all we do is we always try to offset 100% of your electric use of the solar.
Okay.
So we use throughout the course of the year, you use 10 kilowatts of electricity throughout the whole year to power your house. We're going to put just enough panels on your home to provide you with 10 kilowatts.
So have you heard of, because with some power companies, they'll actually pay you for, it's not, yeah.
Nah, that's shit.
Okay.
Because what they do is, otherwise we put every power.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. 100%.
If we turn this into a profitable business.
Right.
No, that's a really common question, and the answer is always no. That's not. Because what they do is they'll sell you the power at one price.
Yeah, at peak price, and then buy it.
Back at
Yeah.
So usually about half.
Yeah.
So it's not a profitable venture. So
Yeah.
that's not the conversation. The conversation is, let's just offset and get rid of your electric bill so that it never goes up. It's locked in at this. The analogy is this. Here's the analogy is, hey, Mr. Let me ask you a question. How much did you pay for gas when you most recently? Church, how much did you pay for gas when you most recently?
The nice part about owning the business is I write all that shit off. So I literally don't look at it.
You don't pay attention.
I think it stops at $75 on the credit card.
Me neither. But I'll just tell you it's a little over $3 a gas.
Okay.
$3 a gallon, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was about 10 years ago?
Cheap, a lot cheaper.
Probably
I mean,
around $2.
yeah.
Okay.
I remember when I turned 16, it was 87 cents.
There you go. Okay, so like if you could have locked in those prices for gas 10 years ago, obviously you would have done that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, no brainer.
Right, no-brainer.
I also would have called into Google and Apple.
Yeah, there's that. Sorry, I can't.
And I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Right? I actually love doing this. So I might actually just hang out with y'all.
So obviously you would have done that, and that's what we're doing. You're locking in those electric prices.
So it's a similar conversation. Vince and I were talking earlier about having multi-year maintenance agreement plans. So like if we have a 10-year plan and you pay the dollar amount now, your price is never going to go up because our maintenance agreement goes up every year. So.
And that's, look, you can apply that same kind of buying strategy or selling strategy to anything. The problem is that people are really bad at explaining it. So if you have an analogy that people can relate to, gas is always one of the fucking stings, right? People talking about fucking gas. It's expensive and it's annoying. It takes time out of your day and you don't like it. So that's what good ones. That's why I always use the gas analogy.
So what do we do on a cloudy day?
Oh, good question.
So this brings us to the concept of what's called net metering. Okay. Net metering is just a fancy terminology for you're going to operate on a system of debits and credits.
So it's the same thing as when you're running your dryer at night because there's no sun out.
Yeah.
So,
So the way it works is that your system is going to produce all of its power during about 5 hours during the day. So more in the summer, less on average. So about 5 hours during the day, you're going to produce 20% of energy. But you can't use it all because maybe you're not even home during the day, maybe you're at work, kids are at school. Yeah. So you're going to use up whatever you're going to use up at that moment. So if you the dishwasher, whatever the case may be, you use up whatever you use up. And whatever your system overproduces that you haven't used, it gets sent back to you. So your utility is going to hold on to it.
Right. Now, this is completely different than what the buyback thing that we were talking about earlier. Right.
Yeah, this is different. So what we're doing here is we're just doing a one-for-one exchange.
Yeah.
So the way it works is that in most states, not every state, but in most states, it's a one-to-one. So what I mean is that every kilowatt of energy you produce that we send back to the grid, they're going to put one credit on your account.
And they don't count it for peak and off-peak hours and stuff.
Correct.
Okay.
You get to get rid of that peak bullshit.
Okay.
And in
Yeah.
some states, there is not only one level of peak. There's fucking
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
levels.
There's
California,
it's crazy.
those fucking peaks go
Yeah.
up like and when they start timing, they fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And they force you into them. You can't get out.
And yeah. Don't dry your clothes in the middle of the day.
Literally.
It's the worst thing in the world.
Like
Yeah.
stupid shit
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
So they end up having fucking conscious.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And they end up having to live really fucking bizarre lives.
Yeah. So we're only washing clothes and only do the laundry between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m.
Yep.
So, I mean, in every trade that we're in, I mean, we're suffering severe supply chain issues.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're experiencing the same thing right now.
Good question.
Yes and no. Yes and no. And this, by the time this becomes live, that could answer could change to that. But
Well, it's live right now.
it's live right now.
Yeah.
So,
It's happening.
Well,
That
The
just
answer is yes.
happened.
Yeah, it's tight. Yeah.
Yes and no is the answer. So we do have a lot of manufacturers panels, and so the company, our general contractor, partner, is massive. So their buying power is huge.
Okay.
So when they buy,
So they have some bulk inventory.
They're buying hundreds of thousands of pounds.
So if I go out tomorrow when I get home at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Sunday?
yes.
Okay.
If I go out on Sunday, because I work hard,
Never stop.
and sell this system, how long is it going to take before Peter's crew shows up?
That depends really on the state. Depends on the state.
Okay.
I would say,
Hey, Peter, what's a permit?
yeah.
Just kidding. Just
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Spell that.
I don't even know. I don't even know that Kentucky even has this sort of permit. I've never heard of that.
I think every state does.
Do they?
It's just if you have an inspector.
The fastest state, I think, is Arizona. 30 days. Yeah. Other states, the longest I've heard is about 90 days.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. Say 60.
Now, I'm assuming now. How does so if I sell this system, I'm most likely going to be financing it. I'm the one collecting the money. How does Peter get paid?
You don't. That's the beauty.
You don't get paid, or I don't. I don't
You
get
don't
paid.
get paid.
No,
I'm out.
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
you just gotta sue me.
yeah.
I didn't say it's a good.
Right. It's good for Peter.
You may want to do your Better Business Bureau looking for it.
Yeah. Do some due diligence here.
No, so the way that happens, so all the deals go through our contract. So all the deals get punched in through their platform, and they handle everything. All the financing goes. So we don't even. You wouldn't use it to. Everything gets punched through.
So
The contractor's website.
with that being said, what if they were approved for 70,000 through Service Finance, and then they would have to rerun their credit again through the dealer?
No, so there are ways around that. It depends on who the finance partner is. Sometimes we can recognize, sometimes we can use them, and sometimes we can't. And most of the common ones that we generally tend to run into in the HVAC world are fine, and service finance as well. Service finance also is solar. And that's one of the answers to your question is they have to recognize solar products because unique things. I'm not finance, but so service finance does actually specifically.
So it works.
Solar. Yeah, so it's not an issue.
Yeah, we recently, we started using Goodleap. Jason Walker in there.
Goodleap
promoter of it.
Goodleap is the biggest finance program in the solar world.
We actually had some complications with them on HVAC because they were so used to the solar. They're like, oh yeah, in solar it's 30, 60 days to get it installed. And we're like, 30, 60 days? We're like
tomorrow?
3 to 6 hours?
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't do it that fast.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean I can't do it that fast?
Yeah.
So,
They ain't got no air conditioning. They gonna call somebody else.
So even like with Goodleap, so if my guy goes in and we pre-qualify, sometimes we get them 100K. We're only going to use 15, 20 maybe in HVAC. And a lot of times we'll try to sell multi-trade, internally. That extra, let's say $70,000, $80,000. That's going to be a dual transaction then, or how to?
Goodleap is the largest solar lender in the country by far. So that's the good thing. It's for seamless.
Yeah, that's a shameless plug for Goodleap, I guess.
Yeah. Goodleap. Feel free to send us money. Sponsor podcast.
They've been easy to work with.
But I do a lot.
Well, Vince approved, so we're good. We're sold. So, there you go. Cool. Is there any other questions that we did not ask? Half-hour mark here.
I'm trying to think, what are the common things that I might, hear as far as objections go.
Warranty. What's the warranty on that?
Excellent. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, we have the best warranty.
Tail light?
Tail light. That's my warranty. As soon as those tail lights are gone, warranty expired.
It's a 30-year bumper, which includes labor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And on top of that, it's separately insured. So the world goes to shit. Massive.
Yeah.
Well done, and everyone and brother goes out of business. Warranty will still be
Bonded or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So the warranty is the best.
Cool.
Yep.
Anything else? Vince, you got anything else?
No,
So I train, man.
How do people get in touch with you? And
you can call me, but you can go on my website, getsolarwise.com. It should be on
Yep.
there.
It's on our show notes, and it's right across the ticker at the bottom. But
That's right. But I do the full training. It's easy. That's the thing. It's not hard. If you just want to do referrals, that's really easy. But if you actually want to run the whole thing, it's like do
Cool.
Yeah.
Peter, thank you so much for
Yes,
coming on the
thank
show. Vince, thank you for being a co-host on the show. But if anybody has, right, I just snagged them out of the crowd. If anybody has any questions about any of this stuff, I'll have all of the information in the show notes. If you, for some reason, don't want or you have something against the show notes, just reach out to me and I'll get you connected. But with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful and safe day, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Service Business Mastery. Now that you are equipped with essential business advice from this impactful conversation, you are one step closer to becoming the successful owner of your dreams. If this episode has been helpful to your business journey, don't forget to subscribe to the show, leave a rating, and share it with other owners as well. Visit servicebusinessmastery.com to learn more.